All right, we're going to continue with our installation here. We have Suricata installed. We have the rule set updated from emerging threats open. So next thing I want to do is make sure Suricata actually works. And we'll do that by testing a PCAP. Take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't hesitate to leave a comment or question below as well. Okay, let's get started. So you can grab any old PCAP that you want, anywhere that you can find it. I find online sandboxes such as AnyRun or Triage great places to go to some analysis and download. In fact, let's just take a look at AnyRun because you'll see that essentially what we're doing is we're recreating some of the capability that you find here in common and popular online sandboxes. So we'll go to app.anyrun, app.any.run. We'll go to the reporting. This will give us all of the recent submissions. Let's see, this looks good. This is a stealer. So we'll open up the analysis here. And hopefully what we're going to see is down in the threats tab, here we have different IDS alerts that are generated, in fact, by Suricata. So we'll be able to do this on our own. The only difference will be how you let your Flare VM connect to the internet or not. And we'll talk here probably in the next video about how we can use FAKENET in order to to not connect our Flare VM to the internet, but still have the opportunity to generate traffic and therefore generate alerts. So create an account. You can download a PCAP, and with any luck, we'll see very similar alerts here from the PCAP in our own little Flare VM sandbox. Okay, in order to facilitate that, we want to grab a couple of tools. I'm going to install grep using Choco. So that's available in the Flare VM. We'll give that a moment to install. Okay, and then we also need JQ. And you'll see why I'm using both of these in just a moment. This is just my way of setting it up. Perhaps there's a better way of doing this, maybe a little bit more organically within Windows, but this feels like more of a setup that I would use in a Linux environment, and these utilities are just typically available there. Maybe not JQ, but we need those two packages. And then once we install those packages, I'm going to use this script right here, and I'll make this available as a gist on GitHub. But this will ultimately allow us to run Suricata in offline mode. So what is it doing? Well, first we're going to define a new log location. And I've actually forgotten to do that before recording here. So we'll just do this real quick. I'm going to put this in the user's temp folder. That way I can hopefully avoid having any permissions issues here. So we'll just call this Suri, and I'll leave this open. In fact, I'll just add this as a quick access because this is now where all of the log files are going to show up. And Suricata generates a number of different log files. The one we're primarily interested in here is called eve.json. And Suricata's output by default is a JSON formatted file full of event records. And of those event records, we'll have alerts. So that's what we're going to be searching for. So we'll set that log location. This is going to then delete all the content in that log location every time it runs. And the reason that I'm doing that is so that I don't mistake or confuse data from previous PCAPs in those log files with the current PCAP that I'm analyzing. So something to keep in mind, I'm going to delete and clear out that log directory every time I run this script. Next is to invoke Suricata, and the offline mode is -r. -r will expect one argument, and that is your PCAP. So this script just needs, and this will be a Windows batch file, just needs one argument, and that's the PCAP file. We can use -l to define a new log location. So that'll be where we're going to redefining from what was defined in the configuration file to this new log location. And this last argument -s, we'll talk about this in one of the last videos in the series. That is, how can we identify or how can we create our own custom rules? Because just like when you're performing malware analysis and you identify something that's unique or interesting in terms of a file artifact, you want to create a YAR rule for it, we can do the same with Suricata here. Once Suricata runs, and you'll notice that I'm echoing on and off here, and that when Suricata runs, I want the output from Suricata, because if there are issues, if there's any errors with Suricata itself, or when we talk about writing custom rules, syntax errors in our rules, I want to be able to see that. The rest of this content from the file I don't really care about other than the results from the actual alert data. So that's what this last command does. Uses grep to grep the eve.json file from our temp log location, looking for just the event type of alert, and then uses JQ to query that event record, that event type, and provide us with information about the alert. And you can see the different properties here, the signature ID, the signature itself, the category, and then the source and destination IPs and ports. So this is where grep and JQ come into play. Now, keep in mind that Suricata, while we're focusing on alerts because that can be really helpful for malware analysis, it's going to generate a lot of data regardless if there are any alerts or not. And so if you're looking at Suricata as more of a network monitoring tool, there is a ton of protocol data that gets put into this eve.json file. So it's worth checking out if you're not real familiar. Okay, that's really all we need. Now we can go back to a terminal here or a command prompt, and let's just zoom in a little bit more. We'll say Suri PCAP and then test.pcap. And here we go. So here's some information from Suricata. There's a few problems or a few warning messages that you're going to encounter here that are okay to ignore for the most part. First of all, there's a few of these .rule files that just they must not exist anymore, or maybe their names have been changed. So really what you could do is you could go into the suricata.yaml and remove those references. So if you open up that YAML file and just search for this file name here, you'll be able to find those and comment those out. There's some flow bit messages here. We don't need to worry about those. That's just flow bits are a way to monitor the state of one rule in a different rule, and it's well documented if you're real curious about flow bits at this point. But if you're not sure, or Suricata is new to you, it's okay to just ignore these for the time being. You'll also see that there is a let's see. There's probably going to be there's an error opening our custom.rules file, and that's of course because it doesn't exist. So while it may be hard to ignore these errors, I typically don't like to ignore these errors. Any of these that are just saying, hey, I wasn't able to open a file, it's okay. We can safely ignore those for now. And again, if you would like to, and I typically would, I would go into the rules file here and clean those up. So maybe we'll do that here in a later video. What you do want to see here this output is that right before Suricata finishes, it tells us that it read a file, one file in this case, one PCAP. It can actually read multiple, this number of packets and this number of bytes. So this is just like confirmation that it actually processed the PCAP. And then of course you can see all of the actual alert information. So this is now in the green here. This is now information from the last part of our script saying that essentially that yes, Suricata did generate alerts. There were rules that matched on patterns in the traffic from the PCAP. And some of these are probably quite good, quite high fidelity in that we have some clear evidence of StealC malware and its check-in behavior. So you can sift through those if you'd like. You can see this was a pretty busy PCAP. There was a lot of alerts that were generated here. And so it'll all depend on the PCAP and what traffic is actually available to determine the type of alerts that you generated. So that's it. We've got Suricata up and running. We've processed a PCAP. We've generated alerts. And so it appears that everything's working great. So what's next? Well, next we're going to go ahead and we're going to add FAKENET into the equation here. And we'll get some real malware. We'll detonate it in our Flare VM. We'll leave it disconnected from the internet and use FAKENET to emulate network traffic, generating a PCAP, and then process that with Suricata to see what kind of alerts we can generate. So hope you'll join me in the next video.